Okay, now they are telling you that Richardson has not only been late for, I guess, both guys, Mo Wilk and Sheldon Richardson, have both been late for meetings and missed meetings entirely?
Yeah, I clarified this about 3 or 4 times because when obviously I originally started digging this a bit and learning some of it, you don't take that too lightly, and I clarified multiple times, and it was told to me multiple times that it happens. Obviously, the quote that was given was all the time. Obviously, that can be taken however you want to take it, but that they have missed team meetings altogether, that they show up late, and it certainly happens more than other players on the team.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, this is not a definitive reason for why these two guys were definitely suspended for the first quarter, benched for the first quarter. But it is something that happens pretty regularly, which would then lead one to assume that it is the reason for their absence there in the first.
Did your source within or close to the situation give you any information on them missing or being late for meetings in Miami prior to the game?
No, that wasn't confirmed directly. It was just that this is a problem that happens regularly. It's been happening regularly, and it's essentially this is a known thing that the two of them, for whatever reason, they tend to either show up late or they don't show up at all. And it's not like this wasn't like it was a one-time occurrence. Right. It's something that happens pretty regularly, obviously.
Here's the thing: as we talk to Connor Hughes from NJ.com, don't show up at all. What does that mean? I mean, like they are missing meetings totally or days at work?
Just explain to people. Connor, give me a second to let Boomer do this. When they say miss meetings, when would meetings take place?
All right, well, it all depends. Every coach is a little bit different, but most days would probably start. For me as a quarterback, I had to be in at 7 a.m., and from 7 to 8, I was going over the game plan with my offensive coordinator or my quarterback coach. That's when I played. And then the team would come in at 8 o'clock. There would be somewhat of it's either a team meeting or a special teams meeting.
Okay.
And then after the special teams meeting, there would be a total team meeting, and then you would break up into your individual meetings. So I'm trying to think that if they had to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 or 9, for the team meeting, then they are obviously missing either those meetings or the special teams meetings. That's what it sounds like to me.
Connor?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't. There are certain things that I can go into detail on, and certain things that I can't really go into detail on. But like I said, what's there is what was directly told to me. It's obviously not a good look for either of the two guys, especially considering they're two of the defensive leaders there on that team.
The other thing I will say this, is I got all over the Jacksonville Jaguars because you had a couple players get thrown out of a game a couple weeks ago. They make continual mistakes, and there's a very obvious lack of discipline by the players. Now, I don't know if that's the coaching staff unable to get through the players, but I would say that's the same case here, Connor. Do you sense by being around the Jetson that the level of morale is just not where it needs to be?
I'll tell you what. We spoke a little bit about this after the game. Is that at least the last few losses that the Jets have had, there's always been that sense of urgency, whether it was Brandon Marshall trying to pump them up or Ryan Fitzpatrick trying to pump them up. Even after the worst of losses, that this team could get it turned around, that they could turn this around, and make a play. This game, or at least the feeling inside that locker room after this loss to the Dolphins, was probably about as somber and depressing as I've been around. I mean, Brandon Marshall took the podium. I don't know if you guys happened to watch the video, if it was visible in the video. I mean, I thought the guy was going to start crying. I mean, he was that emotionally distraught when he took 15, 20 seconds in between answers or in between questions to get his answer out. You could tell he was emotionally defeated. In the locker room, there's a little bit more tension, a little bit more stress. You had, players saying, like Darrelle Revis making comments about Jarvis Landry, which is not something he usually does. And even Brandon making some comments about Byron Maxwell, again, not something he usually throw player shots out there.
Let me ask you this: is there any truth to what we've being told that there are players in the Jet locker room that are hopeful that Ryan Fitzpatrick will start missing meetings? Can you confirm that?
I don't know. I don't know about that.